Are you tired of skipping Ripper Demon tasks? Skip no more. Welcome to my Ripper Demon Emporium, baby. We're going to be teaching you how to get through the beautiful Ripper Demon Slayer task. This is a high-end guide, so I'm going to expect you to have high-end equipment. If you are low level and try to do this boss, or this mini-boss, essentially, you will die, and I'm not responsible. So that's your little disclaimer right there. So to get started with this, you're going to need 96 Slayer to even be able to kill these disgusting monstrosities. In addition, you're going to need 92 Prayer, 90 Necromancy, 90 Defense, and high HP. At least 99 or 90, those will get you through. And overloads, I recommend elder overloads if you got them, but regular overloads will make sure that you'll survive a little bit at least to be able to get through the task. If you're planning to make some money here, I recommend doing the Day Gone By. Actually, I can't recommend it, you have to do it. The Day Gone By mystery, which requires 62 archaeology to complete, takes like maybe 20-30 minutes. Easy, permanent unlock, just get that knocked out. You get binding contracts for every single creature that can be binded to these contracts. That all makes a lot of money. Highly recommend just getting that knocked out. If you don't want to do the mystery, that is perfectly fine, but you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Ripper Demon pouches are currently 99k each, and they sell around 90k to 110k, and I highly recommend getting them even just to use for yourself and save you some money. I am killing these at an extremely quick rate. These are very, very simple to end up killing, and you're leaving a ton of money just flying out of your pocket, to be honest, if you're not killing these without the binding contracts. I highly recommend it. That is literally where 90% of your money is going to be coming from on this task and any binding contract related task. And this is going to be a very big part of why you want to be taking the Ripper Demon task in the first place, along with not burning those 30 Slayer points every single time you decide to skip it. For the sake of clarity, I must proclaim this. This is not a AFK method. This is not an AFK monster, to be very honest. This is more, if anything, a low input monster. You want to be actively paying attention to what is going on around you. You want to play the game, my guy, and you want to make sure that you're noting all of your binding contracts, all of your beautiful bound Ripper Demons, and also making sure your character is alive. With that out of the way, now that you finished up your beautiful Day Gone mystery, we're going to show you how to make binding contracts to maximize that money per hour. You can make binding contracts from level 1, so you can make it at any point. You're going to need a minimum of 200 spirit shards, 1 blue charm, 1 pouch, 2 blood of Orcus, and 2 hellfire medals. Each pouch costs 41,799 gold, or aka 41k to make each one. And so with Ripper Demons costing about 99k each, that's about 57k-ish per pouch that you end up making per kill. Take a look at my inventory. I usually do these in like bundles of 500 or so, and what you gotta do is go to the Taverly summoning store, the very first summoning shop that is inside the store. You're gonna trade everything to magic sticks. You're gonna hit sell in the shop options, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna sell, I do like bundles of like 100, 200 or so that you don't get stuck in the shop the entire time. Sell them in bundles of 100 or so, and then you're gonna go back to the buy option. You're gonna buy them back from him, and then you'll click the obelisk, create your pouches, and rinse and repeat. If you know you're gonna be here and you're trying to stockpile for a while, you can sell all of them, and no one else is gonna be able to buy them from the shop. They're just gonna be shown to you, and then you just go ahead, rinse, repeat, make your pouches. I made about 399 pouches in about 10 minutes. I didn't even finish the YouTube video I was watching when I made it. It's very, very quick, very, very easy. Just get out the way. It's a little click intensive, but hey, you want some money, don't you? Let's get into the build. Starting with the inventory, I have an Elder Overload salve with anti-poisons. Please be sure to have a full flask. I have that decanted mine. I have my binding contracts. I have runes for Animate Dead. A Blessed Flask. If you don't have a Blessed Flask, perfectly fine. Just bring Super Restores or the best prayer potion that you can. I have an Enhanced Excalibur from the, I think, Sears Village Elite Diaries, which is fantastic. Gives you a little bit of sustain. I have a Holy Wrench. I didn't know what the Holy Wrench does. What it does is provides you a slower prayer drain, keeping that prayer up. In all honesty, if you're using the Penance Powder, you shouldn't need this. But if you're not using Penance Powder, because it does eat into your final cost, final dollar of how much you make per hour. I have a Spring Cleaner. They drop a couple alkables, a couple things they can break down. Not too bad. Always good to have for AFK Slayer guides. The beautiful Ancient Elven Ritual Shard, which is another way of prayer sustain. I have the Wilderness Sword 4 from the Elite Wilderness Diaries. This is how I teleport to the herb patch that will show you how do we get to the actual Ripper Demon. If you don't have the Wilderness Sword 4, what you can do is teleport the Wilderness Lodestone and then run north to get to the herb patch and show you where the spot is. Next, we have one noted binding contract for the Ripper Demon, so that when you have the preset, you already have an automatic slot for your Wilderness for when you end up using these for the magic note paper. We have the meteorite cannonballs, which provide you the highest possible damage along with your cannon. We have penance powders. Again, if you're not going to use these because they eat into your bottom dollar, I recommend using them though, because that prayer sustain is very, very important. We have, if you don't have an artificer's measure, you can use an enhanced gem bag, because they do drop a lot of dragon stones and it helps to pick those up. We have magic note paper, so when we end up killing the Ripper demons, we can use the pouches that come up in the inventory. You can go ahead and just note those automatically. We have emergency food, 1 sailfish, 1 Ceridome brew. In all honesty, you don't really need these because they will just one-shot you. Even at 16,000 HP, they will one-shot you. So it's okay if you end up not having it, but we have a foolproof way to make sure that we don't die from the one shot, and then you're able to get your stuff back. We have Lantine incense sticks so that you're able to extend the duration of your potions, and then we also have the Quarm incense sticks that also increase the potency of your poison, which is very helpful when you're trying to kill these beautiful mobs. And last but not least, and honestly probably one of the most important parts of the build, is a Dwarven Siege Cannon from the Artisan's Workshop. This is your highest damage cannon. Also provides you the automatic reloading thing, like automatic reloading perk when you do the Artisan's Workshop, and gets this beautiful, beautiful siege cannon. This is probably the piece of the resistance out of the whole thing, but that also includes the inventory and the actual equipment we're going to have using, as you can see. Now, for the equipment, starting with the aura, I use the Equilibrium aura. It allows you to have a higher base damage, but you cannot crit. You can swap this out if you need to with Vampirism. If you see that you're just completely getting bodied, or you can use the Aegis aura. It is like 30 minutes long. It gives you an additional 10% damage reduction. I think it's helpful, but like they all kind of perform all the same in my opinion. We have 3 pieces of Acto. We have the Acto helmet. We have an Acto Primeval helmet, Acto Primeval boots, and gloves. This is so that when you are damaged, you have a 3% chance to reset your cooldowns on all defensive abilities. This includes Devotion. Devotion is going to be keeping you alive the entire time because you take 0 melee damage, and so when you're able to be fighting the demons, it helps a ton with that sustain. Additionally, we have a Blood Amulet of Fury. All you need to do, the reason why you use a Blood Amulet of Fury is because when you have Devotion up 100% of the time, you don't really need an Amulet of Souls, which just reduces the amount of damage you get. I think this is more useful because you get that 200 to 500 healing every few seconds. In addition, we have the Scripture of When, because honestly, they all clump up together, and sometimes the Scripture of When will just kill them instantly. It's beautiful. We have an Ignis Kalzuk, which is a great offensive cape. You do not need to have the Ignis Kalzuk. Obviously, if you have the Necromancy cape, you can get by perfectly fine. You could also mess around with the Leviathan cape from Ports, because that counts as an animate dead item, a magic tank item. So it stacks on top with the damage reduction that comes with magic tank items. You could also swap that out. Also, if you're feeling real buzzy, you could end up using a Leviathan's Ring, which also counts as a tank item. For the weapons, we have the T95 Necromancy gear, we have the Omni Guard, and the Soulbound Lantern. You can get away with T90s for this task. You will probably have a little bit less damage, obviously, because you're losing a lower tier damage. But for the sake of the guide, you are able to use it, but I'm going to be using what I have currently, which are my T95s, the beautiful Raziel gear. For our armor, okay, so we have Enhanced Devoted 4 and Crystal Shield 4. These are very, very important. Again, with Devotion being your main way to stay alive in this whole situation, getting more procs of Devotion, getting that 100% damage reduction is very, very important. And then Crystal Shield will just provide you another extra shield so that you have a little bit more life points to you. On my legs, I have Crackling 4, Relentless 3. You do not need this. You can actually probably swap this out if you'd like, but this is a good DPS perk to have on your gear and helps a ton. And then we have Lucky 6 and Undead Slayer. You can swap out the Undead Slayer if you're not going to be using these legs for anything else, or Demon Slayer, and that will count as towards the Rippery demons, because obviously they're demons, so you're going to get that added damage buff on that as well. And when you're using Death Warden, you're going to be getting that 2% chance for dodge chance, which gives us 4%, which honestly that is not very game changing, but any damage you can mitigate is good damage. To make sure we don't get one shot, we have the Ring of Death Eye. The imbuement just adds an additional damage. You don't need to imbue yours. But what this does is on death revives you at full health and deals increasing damage to you over time. What this does is it gives you a small window to pick up your cannon and pick up whatever you need to, and then teleport out. That way you also avoid the death cost eating into your bottom dollar. And then for our familiar, finally, we have the Hellhound. The Hellhound is fantastic for tanking, and this is essentially what it is a beautiful little tank test inside of the wilderness. And what it does is just reduces all the damages you take at the cost of its own health points. So this is why you need to make sure that you have what we're going to talk about with the ability bar. For our ability bar, we're going to be using the Summon Undead Army. You're going to have your Scythe ability, then you have your Guardian ability. Next to that, you're going to have Soul Strike because you can't stun these creatures. After that, we're gonna have devotion, again, our piece of resistance. We're gonna touch of death, and then our basic attack. And then we have our beautiful soul siphon here. In case we go to around like 10,000, 8,000 health points, you want to make sure that you're up at all possible times, and it helps you keep that sustain up. For the additional things on the bar, we have our Prism of Restoration. This is to make sure that our beautiful little Hellhound does not die on us. And what it does, it just pops up a little crystal, and then the Hellhound begins to get healing. You can do this every other, maybe like every 30, 40 seconds or something, and then you're good to go. We have our Overload, our Poison, our Blessed Flask, and then our Shard and our Excalibur on the bar. You have all these things readily available to you. You don't have to keybind them to your bar if you don't want to. This is how I do it, though. It's a nice, easy way to make sure you got everything squared away. That is our overall build. You can swap these out if you do not have Acto or Primeval gear that come from the Liberation of Mascap. You can use Cinderbanes and Crypt Bloom for the added damage reduction from melee attacks. I found that for my testing, I really enjoyed using the Primeval because of the devotion procs and the resetting of your defensives. It was a very important piece for me, and to me, I just noticed it. The kills were still really quick. I still got like 90 kills in like 7 minutes, so it wasn't really that big of a deal to me, and I thought it was perfectly fine. But if you do not have these things, you can get away with 2 Police Crypt Bloom and Cinderbane Gauntlets. Now that you have your build all set up, let's show you how to get to the Ripper Demons in the Wilderness. What you're going to do here is, of course, use your bonfire, get that maximum health point bonus as much as you can. After that, touch the crystal, pray at the altar, preload your preset. When you go into the wilderness, make sure you have 100% Adren, because you need to make sure that you have devotion available to you as soon as you get there. After that, use your wilderness sword, press 1, press 2, takes you to the herb patch. Again, if you don't have the wilderness sword, you're going to end up running to the lodestone and then running north, and that'll take you to the herb patch as well, and then just follow the lead that we go here. Now, you'll run north completely as far as you can, and then you're going to make a little right hook at the edge of the wilderness, like lava maze right here, and then you're going to head east. When you head east, you're going to start popping all of your buffs. So you're going to pop the Elder Overload, your Animate Dead, you're going to turn on your Protect from Melee, your Necromancy Prayer, be that Ruination, or I think, what is it, whatever, the T90 Sorrow. And then from here, right before we run into the spot we're looking for, is right here in between these beautiful little rocks. So as we walk over, turn your book on, get your weapon poison on, get your incense sticks on, and then from here, dive, surge, devotion, walk in this spot, drop your cannon, click your cannon, walk back over, click at a demon, and then go to town. So now the bar raiders work itself out. Anything that you want to probably work for is, if you notice you're going to start getting clapped, just press devotion and then you're good to go. This is not going to be like a fully AFK guide, because it's not really, you can't really do a full AFK, because you're going to be noting your beautiful Ripper Demon pouches every single time. Again, these are 98k, 99k each, and anytime there's a PvM update, these bad boys go up. When a master release, these were like 120k each. It's fantastic, beautiful way to make easy money, and they just drop like flies, dude. It's insane. It's a beautiful little guide and beautiful little setup as well. It's very, very simple. Main thing that you're looking for is keeping your abilities up and watching your health pool. As long as your health pool and your prayer maintains, you're good to go. For me, I don't really loot much of the things on the ground, but you can. It adds up to like an extra, like maybe like every 5 minutes, an extra 500k helps out. But honestly, I'm mostly just paying attention to all of my buffs and my health bar, making sure that I have everything sustained. The moment Animate Dead, the moment your Overload drops, you're gone. You're just gonna die. I have not found a way to just sit here for hours and hours and hours and not die, and this is my very go-to way. If I have a Slayer task, if I have 95 of these bad boys, you just go ahead and knock them out. Now we're at 7k health, right? We're going to use Blood Siphon, heal up as much as we can. Now, the thing is that, right, when you use Blood Siphon, if you're attacking a target that is low health, they may end up dying. Double check your Hellhound, make sure your Hellhound stays alive, drop that crystal down. As well, pop your Excalibur, pop your crystal, pop your Ancient Ritual Shard, I apologize. And just watch the bodies stack up. It is very, very simple. I like this one. I used to avoid this task like the plague, and I found it extremely easy. Typically, I can stay here for about 100 kills, and that's like 10 mil in like less than 10 minutes. Like already, it's only been like 2 minutes, and I already have 5 mil in my inventory just from doing this. It's very, very easy. It's very reliable. The longest part really of this whole method is making your binding contracts. Again, I usually use my binding contracts personally when I'm on a Slayer task. I never really come here when I'm not on task, but it's just an easy way to make a quick cash. If you have any money for supplies, any runes, something like that, this is a great way to make sure that you have some pocket money for you. And honestly, the barrier to entry is pretty low. It's very, very simple. Like, you don't need every single buff that I'm using when it comes to like Reaper Crew or anything like that. You just need to make sure that you have all the bars set up properly. You have your necromancy tree leveled up all the way, and then you just go to town. You got the level to make binding contracts and everything. It's a very easy method. Highly recommend it. And honestly, if you just need money in a pinch, this is my go-to way to do it. Editor Edimus here. Just wanted to show how easily I was able to get this knocked out, and you can too, as long as you get this set up exactly how I'm doing it. If you make variations, I cannot be liable if you make changes, but I highly recommend doing this. I can average around about 90 to 120 kills until I inevitably get one shot by something, or I'm not paying attention to my overload or animate dead. Definitely keep a close eye on all of your buffs. Make sure your poison's up, make sure your animate dead's up, make sure your overload's on, make sure your book's on, make sure everything is on, and make sure all your buffs are procced at the same time. Because if you're not stacking all these buffs together, you will end up dying, and that is more frustrating than anything else, because it should be working. It should be working. I'm not special. I'm not doing anything different than what you should be doing. Highly recommend this. The way I get my HP super high is doing the bonfire method. I finished the Master quest line, so I have the added HP from the crest reward. In addition to that, if you have a Pantheon aura that you can buy using a bond, you can use Het's blessing, and it buffs your HP by I think like 15%, up to like 1,500 bonus health points. And then plus, the Crypt Bloom gives you added health. If you're using 3-piece active for the defense resets, you're going to end up getting around 16,000 HP if you're using the Het's bonus on top of everything else. It's pretty simple and highly recommended, but you can get by without it. And in less than like not even 4 minutes, dude, I think that's insane. I killed 98 of those bad boys, coming away with 9.7 mil. I have collected all of my Ripper Demon pouches myself, and honestly, this is a incredible way to save money or make money, depending on what you're using for it. Myself, I use it like a million of these things all the time, and I've made in that literally 67.5 mil to do this. Insane. Now, including costs and everything else, comes out to about 30 mil, because each binding contract is about 42k, and then you have to sell these ones. You can slow sell them for whatever the price may be, and it's a really good way to make some easy money if you're in a bind, right? It's something I recommend. It's easy. It's low effort. I don't mind it. You've honestly earned it after leveling up your account as much as you need to. And that is my Ripper Demon guide. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to leave me a like and subscribe if you want to see more. I make all types of guide and RuneScape related content. I also do a lot of live streaming as well. If you want to pop by and yipper yapper about that one, that's a good time. Enjoy your easy Ripper Demon money and stop skipping that Slayer task, baby.